Hello there, my lovely jewelry makers. I'm Christina of CSLdesigns, and in today's video we're going to be opening up an exciting box that was kindly sent to me by Beadsmith. And I'm sure if you're a jewelry maker, everyone knows what Beadsmith is, as they're a major brand in the industry. Now I do know a couple of things that are in this box that I'm very excited about, but there's also a few surprises. So why don't we just jump into it and let's have a look. So let's see if we can fit everything in frame, shall we? I'm not entirely sure, but we can get a little bit of an overview maybe. Now the question is where we're going to start. I think I have to start with what I'm most excited about, and that's these pliers here. So let's open them up. Now I came across these pliers a little while ago, and these are one of the things that I knew they were going to send and that I'm very excited about, because as soon as I saw them I have to have these pliers. I don't need new pliers, but that's not really the point, is it? I just really love the way they look. So these are basically their Chroma series of pliers. This is a set. You can also see the actual case is that chroma look to it. And like I said, as soon as I saw them, I have to have them because I love this kind of thing. And you get a whole set inside here. Oh, you even get a little separator. That's kind of nice. So we have 4 basic pliers, and then we have a pair of scissors, fine nose scissors, and then also a pair of tweezers, which is also really fine nose ones. So that's a really nice basic set, I would say. And let's take them out, shall we? Because I have to look at these more up close. So let's just put the empty case away. Obviously you can store your pliers in there when you're not using them, or you can store them out, which is probably what I'm going to do because they are so pretty. And they even have these little protectors on them, which I haven't seen before. So we have a pair of flat nose pliers here. And just look at that finish. I love that kind of rainbow effect, kind of oil spill effect in these different colors. I'm just a sucker for that. So a nice pretty wide pair of flat nose pliers here. That could be handy for certain things. And it also seems very sharp, so that should create nice sharp bends. Next we have a pair of cutters. So these are just your regular wire cutters. We have some chain nose pliers. So these are basically like flat nose pliers, but with a finer tip, tapered, and you can get into finer spaces with the tip there. And lastly, we have a pair of round nose pliers. So you have your tapered round ends here that you can obviously make different size loops with. Now from the pliers, we also have the tweezers, which they are literally fine like a needle. Gotta be careful with that tip. Maybe a good idea to save this. That is very fine. And the scissors, I actually for some reason have a little bit of a collection of different scissors. I don't know why. It's not on purpose. I've just seen a couple of scissors here and there that I like, so these will definitely be added to that. And these are really fine, so they are actually embroidery scissors, so they can cut really nice and tight and fine pieces of cord. So this is the Chroma plier set, which I was really excited about. I'm now very happy that I have it. And just to explain why, a little background story. Like I said, as soon as I saw these, I knew I had to have them, and that's because I have a bit of a thing for this kind of finish, like I said. And just to show you what I mean, I already have quite a few things in this finish, so let me just get them. I'll be right back. So I just grabbed a couple of things here. You can see I've got cutlery in that same effect. I love that. I have a whole set. I have metal straw in that as well. I have nail clippers, tweezers, scissors, and these are just a couple of things. I also have glasses, kitchen knives, and probably things that I don't even remember. So yeah, I think it's safe to say I love that finish, hence why as soon as I saw them pliers, I was like, yeah, they've got to be mine one way or another. So I'm really glad I have them now. And like I said, they will be on display on some display stands that have 4 pliers, so that's going to be really lovely in my studio. So what should we look at next? I think we're going to grab one of these boxes here. So again, this is also something I knew they were going to send, because I often get questions about where I buy my wire, and obviously I'm happy to answer. The problem is just a lot of times the questions are from, say, Americans or people from other countries, so where I buy my wire might not be that relevant to them, because shipping and all that is going to probably be more expensive if they will even ship at all. So I've been quite keen on trying out other wires that's going to be more accessible to, say, other people like in America, other countries. And then a brand like this, you can pretty much get anywhere, so I really wanted to try out their wire. So they sent me a bunch of different gauges. This is in the rose gold color. I love rose gold. And then the other box here has also got wire, and this is in bronze. So here we have all the rolls, and there's loads of different gauges, so I can obviously test it out for different purposes. So it should also be a soft wire, which is what I personally prefer to work with most of the time, especially for things like wire kumihimo, wire macrame, wire crochet. That should always be a soft wire in my opinion. So yeah, I'm really excited to try out their wire, and also especially use this rose gold color because I haven't used that before. Maybe even combine it with silver, that would be lovely. Then let's dive into one of the bags. Why not? Because there's a bit of a mix in here by the looks of it. Get in there. So we do have some S-long cord, which I love to work with for kumihimo, micro macrame. And speaking of which, I haven't actually done any of that in a while, so I think that's due to do some new designs with that soon. There's some chain by the looks of it, a partially finished bracelet. It looks interesting. Bracelet, it seems quite long for that. Interesting. That is a nice chain. And there's another one in a different color. We have some, what I think are some clasps. This looks interesting. Oh, there's two, I think. I think I just have to open that because they look very intriguing. Let's see. What do you do? Oh, it's just a magnet. You just take it apart. Okay. I was trying to twist it or push it in the middle. No, you literally just lift them. That is really strong. Okay. That is nice. It's actually a really lovely design. And you have the kind of little loops out the end that you can attach whatever bracelet you've made to it, and that's quite wide, so that'll accommodate wider designs. That is really lovely, and that magnet is surprisingly strong, which obviously it should be. Then we have these clasps, and there's also two of them. This is, I think, also magnet. There we go, I can see the seam. Right, how do I then open it? Whoa, these magnets are really freaking strong. That is good. So your bracelet should definitely be secure if you're using these. And this is then a little bit narrower, so again, that will accommodate other designs. Seriously, these magnets are really strong. And we then have a silver one, which is also magnetized. Let's see if I can figure out how to open this one. Maybe just similar to the one I just did. Do you just pull it apart? It's probably easier once you have a bracelet attached, but that's my excuse anyway. There we go. So that one has two magnets because it's a bit wider. And nice and simple looking, so it doesn't take away from the bracelet. We have some beads here. These are fire polished 3mm, and these are red. We have some blue, cobalt as they're called, and then we have, this is a nice finish, chalk violet luster. They're very lovely. I love finishes like this as well, and I love a 3mm size beads. They are very versatile and I use them a lot. And I'm just thinking, these beads here with the rose gold wire, that would be quite lovely. Oh, and there was also a silver chain that I missed that was hiding, just like the other ones. It is a really lovely chain, that. I think I just have to open it and see what it actually looks like outside the bag, because it looks like it's really long unless it's multiple chains, which there is. Okay. So it did say partially finished bracelets, so let's see what that means. So you have multiples of these where you kind of have a little almost donut bead in the middle, and then two chains, lovely chains by the way, going through, and then you have loops on the ends of those that you can then attach to something. So I'm thinking there's obviously multiple ways you can use these. So my thought is you can maybe attach more chain on the end and then a clasp, and this will kind of be a centerpiece, and the bead does move up and down the chains, and you can even turn them into a necklace as well. And you can also maybe face them the other way so the donut kind of separates them like this, gives a bit of a different look. That is interesting. A very different idea. Haven't seen that before. Then there's also some wire in here by the looks of it. So what do we have in here? We have a bit of a mix of different kinds of wire. We have already twisted wire, which I do enjoy working with. Then we have square wire and half round, which is also lovely to work with. And the two packs are different gauges. So we have an 18 gauge and 21 gauge. And then there's also both gold and silver within the pack. So this is actually really interesting little packs, especially if you just want to try out working with the other kinds of wire than just a regular round. This would be a really good way to kind of get introduced to that. Then we have some S-long, which you can never have enough of. And this is the Tex 210, which is what I use by far the most. This color is very lovely, like a burgundy, and it's called eggplant, just for reference. We have gunmetal. That one is really handy to have. I use that a lot just because it's kind of neutral, but at the same time really nice looking. And it goes with any other color. We have a Bermuda blue and a vanilla. These two look really nice together as well. So some nice S-long cord. I can never recommend that enough. I've used that for years and I don't think I'll ever stop. So the other bag looks like we have some more cord. Let's see. So we have some wax cord, and would that be wax cord as well? Seems like. Yes. And then different colors. So we have the basic black, and then we have some natural colors, and then we just have a few other colors here as well. So wax cord is something that's very good for stuff like macrame. Then let's bring in a tool that I am very familiar with. So this is a mini macrame board. I use this pretty much all the time. I have several of them on the go at once. And I used to use the large one the most because I felt it was nice to have that big surface area, and I do still use that. But I've actually started using the mini one more because actually you don't always need that big surface, because this, you can even still make bracelets. You don't have to just use the short side. You can turn this, and this is still long enough to say make a bracelet. And sometimes it's just a little handy to sit with something that's not quite as big, and it's easier to bring down to the sofa and sit and do your macrame in front of the TV. So this I can never recommend enough. I've always loved this tool. We then have an easy knotter. So this is basically for doing knotted jewelry. So for instance, adding beads to a card, and then you just make the knots to basically make the beads sit exactly where you want it to. And this then helps you, first of all, make the knots because it has a little pin in it, but then also it has measurements to help you know exactly how far between the beads if you want to keep it consistent. So that's quite a handy tool and works great with all the card as well. And lastly, we have the endless loom. So I have seen this before, but I've never actually tried it yet. It looks very interesting and honestly a little bit intimidating because it looks a little complicated, but I'm sure once you try it out, it's not. But basically, it's supposed to be that you don't end up with any warp ends on your wrap bracelets that you then have to tie off, because that is a little bit annoying sometimes. So I will be curious to try this out for that purpose alone. And I also haven't done a wrap bracelet in a while, so I think I'm due to do something like that. And with it also came these packs of loom bands, which is to help kind of hold the tool in place, I'm pretty sure. So there's both black and clear, and then some different sizes. I'm guessing depending what size you want the bracelet to be. That's just my guess. I might be wrong, so don't quote me on that. I haven't tried this yet, so I will find out obviously when I do. So that's everything that was in the box. Quite a few goodies here, and they don't even all fit on the screen, and I can't zoom out anymore. So there's definitely a bit to play around with here, and like I said, I'm very excited to start using these pliers because they are just so pretty. Just look at that finish. So thank you very much to Beadsmith for sending me all this so I can share it with you and we can check it out together. Of course, I'm going to leave any links I can find in the description box down below, and you might just see some of these things start to pop up in future tutorials. So of course, if you don't want to miss that, you can always subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I really hope you enjoyed this video unboxing a few goodies from Beadsmith, and thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.